Yo, what's going on, guys? Mush back at it with another video, and you guys know how much I love emulators. I talk about it often on this channel, but I think emulation is one of the real biggest drawing cards on PC, and especially when I discovered how crazy emulators were like a decade ago, and it just blew me away. Obviously, these days you see a lot of games getting remastered and whatnot, so emulators aren't as much of a necessity. They are still amazing, don't get me wrong, but back in the day when games like Final Fantasy X weren't available on PC and you could just play that via an emulator, it blew my mind, and you could still do that and play the original PS2 version through PCSX2. Obviously, there's a plethora of emulators for pretty much every platform imaginable. RPCS3, great PS3 emulator that's been making a lot of progress, and of course, there's one, Yuzu, there's Ryujinx, the Nintendo Switch emulators that have been quite fantastic. But you know, Nintendo doesn't really play well when it comes to emulation, and coming from Stephen Totilo, new. Nintendo is suing the creators of popular Switch emulator Yuzu, saying their tech illegally circumvents Nintendo software encryption and facilitates piracy, seeks damages for alleged violations, and a shutdown of the emulator. Notes 1 million copies of Tears of the Kingdom downloaded prior to the game's release, as Yuzu's Patreon support doubled during that time, basically arguing that that is proof that Yuzu's business model helps piracy flourish. Obviously, if you're aware of how things work, Nintendo doesn't really have a legal ground to stand on. It's not like the team behind Yuzu is the ones distributing copies of the game. Emulation is perfectly legal. However, let's think about a couple of things, first of all. Why is Nintendo suing them right now? Yuzu's been around for a while. Nintendo Emulations has been around for a while. Early 2024, what's coming up here in the near future that's probably going to get revealed here shortly, and Nintendo probably doesn't want emulation to impact that. Oh, probably their new console that isn't going to see that many hardware improvements, that it's going to be really easy to emulate that very quickly as well. I don't know, I'm just spitballing here. It's just interesting to me that we've had Switch emulation for years and years, and now you're gonna go ahead and sue the Yuzu team? It doesn't make a lot of sense for me unless they're trying to get a leg up on, attacking emulators and going after emulators ahead of when they drop the Switch 2, because can you imagine if the Switch 2 drops and then that's being emulated real quickly? Probably not a situation that they want to have happen. However, again, they don't have much of a legal ground to stand on, but the issue is Nintendo has all of the financials in the world, and they can draw out a legal battle that can just drain and drain and drain money from the Yuzu team and ultimately lead to Yuzu going defunct, or the development of Yuzu going defunct. Now, they do have a Patreon page that's supported. Maybe they could utilize that Patreon page for legal fees. I don't know. Ultimately, these legal battles and, suing creators of things like mods and things like emulators, it's very effective because you can't go into these legal battles with these juggernaut companies that have endless pits of money to throw at you. Kind of a failure of the legal system, and I'm not here to get into that argument right now. I get it, legal fees are expensive, but in the case of Nintendo and all of these other companies attacking things like modding and then emulation, sometimes it can be applicable and valid, but a lot of the times, this particular case, it's not valid. And the thing is, Yuzu, even if they take down the team, it's like, it's open source at this point, and people are still going to develop for Yuzu, and it's still going to circulate. You're not going to stop it. The toothpaste is out of the tube, as I often say. I get it that you can halt the progress a little bit, you can scare other people, you can scare potential creators of a Switch 2 emulator. Just think about that for a second. And Nintendo doing this is just so whack because, man, I can go on my, just unhinged rant on Nintendo because I think people give Nintendo way too many passes for a lot of things, and their games readily are great. Don't get me wrong, they're great, and they're very good. They run on absolute garbage hardware. Let's not paint this into a different picture. The hardware is absolute trash tier, and anybody suggesting otherwise, you're just kidding yourself. I get it, Switches still sell like hotcakes, the games still sell incredibly well, but a lot of things sell incredibly well that I think are trash, and the Switch is trash from a hardware standpoint. I'm not even gonna go into a debate on that. I have more unhinged rants because I just feel like Nintendo gets away with so many things, and I think their games are perceived in a way that, you know what, I'm not gonna go on on this unhinged rant right now, but let's just say I have a lot of things to say about Nintendo's games, and I can see that their games are great, but I also think Nintendo games at times are graded on a curve, but we won't go down that diatribe right now. Nintendo, I can acquiesce to the fact that they drop great games left and right, and at the end of the day, that's the most important thing for a publisher, and their consistency level, man, it sure as hell trumps PlayStation right now. PlayStation's doing layoffs left and right, and they got no big games coming out this year. I'll give Nintendo credit where credit is due, but from a hardware standpoint, Nintendo is just abysmal. The hardware is trash, and it'll be interesting to see what kind of hardware leap the Switch 2 is. The thing is, they also don't have to do anything. From their standpoint, I understand why they do the things that they do, why they create these underpowered platforms, because they can get away with it. Their games are at a level and at a popularity level where it doesn't matter. You can release a Pokemon game that dips in frame rates, looks like trash, and it's still gonna sell millions and millions of copies, but at least let emulation be a thing so other people can fix your mess and we can play these games at a more suitable frame rate and suitable performance. I don't know, just a thought. Hell, I've been a broken record in previous videos. I really haven't talked about it that much to actually think about it, but I think Nintendo should do native releases of their games on PC. You already have emulation as big as it is, and I'm not saying day one releases. I don't think they should do that, but you telling me if Breath of the Wild dropped tomorrow on Steam for $60, it wouldn't sell millions of copies? You damn right it would. It absolutely would, and it would just be passive revenue for them. I'm saying drop games 4 or 5 years after their initial release, and you can just print money by doing that. How about instead of attacking Yuzu, going after Yuzu, you just release native versions of your games on Steam. You charge $60 for it because we damn well know you can get away with it. Do at least enough so we can play them at 60 frames per second and, print hundreds of millions of dollars, because that's literally what would happen. I know it's a pipe dream, but you know what? Ever since PlayStation games started appearing on PC, I don't think anything's a pipe dream. I think if I rant long enough and you guys rant long enough, eventually they'll concede. And I know Nintendo kind of operates in a whole different world, in a whole different environment than everybody else. They're kind of on an island to themselves. They're not even direct competitors to the other consoles in the market, like a PlayStation and a Microsoft and an Xbox. They kind of just operate by their own means and their own whims, and, they have been kind of whacked to the modding scene and the emulation scene for a long time, and Nintendo, the heads over there, absolutely hate it. I imagine this happening now would be something tied to the Switch 2. That's the only thing that I can come across, because the timing of it is just interesting, given that Yuzu has been around forever, Ryujinx has been around forever, these emulators have been around forever. To me, what it looks like is a scare tactic to eliminate people from developing something for the Switch 2. That's what I would think, and I think, I could definitely understand why Nintendo would want to do that. But that'll do it for me. Again, absolutely whack. Yuzu is still going to be around, and people are going to continue to develop for it, so it's not the end of the world, but Nintendo gonna Nintendo as far as that's concerned, and I do enjoy the Nintendo games. I'm not gonna say I love the Nintendo games, I enjoy them. Pokemon's really not my cup of tea these days anymore, but, the Zelda games every time out, they're always really good. These games are always really great. I just think technically they could be a lot better, but that'll do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. As always, guys, thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out. Hey, what's going on, guys? Mush here again. Hope you enjoyed the video. As you guys might know, YouTube's notification system is sometimes a little bit wonky, even if you're subscribed to the channel. Maybe you're not abundantly aware that I uploaded a video. To remedy that situation, make sure you hit the bell notification button. This way, whenever I upload a new video, and I try to upload as consistently as possible, you will be notified directly of the upload, and you can watch it as soon as it goes live. I would really appreciate if you guys hit that button so you can stay up to date with all of the content I'm posting. But as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.